Hey y'all, welcome back to another TikTok reaction video. I am super excited to get into this today. That was not the right note. Today. Still not the right note. Maybe next time. Okay, so we are going to get into something a little creepy. I mean, I hope so. A little strange. A little tantalizing. I'm just playing, y'all. Come on, let's get into it.
My attention that fecal matter is found on 70% of the grocery carts. In other words, people smearing doodle crumbs on the grocery carts. You see, the next time you go to the grocery store, you might want to have you some antibacterial to wipe the little doodle up off the carts.
Okay.
Let me show y'all what I mean. Okay, so he's doing a swab test first, and then after, he gonna do another swab test after he cleaned the cart. You see, wipey wipe. And then he gonna swab it. Now let's see what's going on. Remember now, I just told y'all they got little doodle crumbs on the cart now. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to tell y'all, they also got booty juice on the self-checkout. I didn't know people was going smearing their booty cheeks all over the store. But yeah, this is what's gonna happen after it come out the incubator. This is without the white. Remember that I just told y'all human booty cheeks, and that's without the white. Do y'all see the difference? And apparently it's doodle flakes all over the store because people aren't washing their hands when they leave the bathroom. Yeah.
Ugh, got me itching. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Well, that's disgusting. Let's just put that out there. It's a little disgusting. I mean, ugh. That's all I can say is like, ugh. Because I mean, I am that person that I usually just take the cart and go. I don't know. I feel like it's an extra step, but obviously we all need to take that extra step because that is nasty. Come on, let's get into it.
So, as we've just been worried about regular everyday stuff, life, mortgages, rent going up to $2,000 no matter if it's a studio or apartment. A lot of these companies, they've been building insect plants. In fact, they're in a race to see who could build the biggest insect farm. And it's working too because they got insect food being sold on the market right now as we speak. Watch out for Tyson.
Tyson has reached an agreement for a twofold investment with Protix. It's a leading global insect ingredients company. That investment will support the growth of the emerging insect ingredient industry and expand the use of insect ingredient solutions. Tyson and Protix also joining together for the operation and construction of an insect ingredient facility. Once that is complete, it'll be the first at-scale facility of its kind to upcycle food manufacturing byproducts into high-quality insect proteins and lipids, primarily to be used in the culture and livestock industries.
Nasty. That is so disgusting. Oh my gosh. I mean, for me, I don't really like bugs. I know some people like bugs, and maybe they like to eat them. I'm not one of those people. Bugs disgust me. Do I want to be sitting here eating bugs? No. No, I do not. No. No. Who's going to pay to eat bugs? Someone. I mean, because Tyson just, I mean, hopefully, I don't even know. Because to me, I feel like they need to disclose certain things, but obviously they don't disclose everything to us because we could already be eating bugs and we just don't know. But I'm not here for it. Ugh.
Certainly sounds alarming. Banned drugs, everything from antibiotics to antidepressants or heavily regulated drugs. They were found in beef, poultry, and pork. And now a new Consumer Reports investigation raises some pretty serious questions about how these drugs got there and why a federal agency is not doing more about this problem.
What was explosive is immediately seeing these drugs, which were never approved for use in food animals because they're highly hazardous, still showing up in the food supply.
If it ain't lab/man-made meat created in a plant, it's illegal drugs purposely placed in the meat. Either way you look at it, somebody wants us putting chemicals into our bodies. And what's really, really sad is they are actually succeeding. And you would think the FDA would actually do the job taxpayers paid them to do?
And ketamine, an hallucinogenic party drug and antidepressant, among others. All of them banned or severely restricted drugs. Yet trace amounts have shown up in meat samples, and no one, including the USDA or FDA, seems to know exactly how they're getting into the meat supply.
Okay. That's very strange. I mean, the thing is I know, at least for me, I don't like drugs. I don't do drugs. It's not my thing. But it's crazy to really sit back and realize that even though you try to be healthier with your body or try not to do certain things, it's still there. I really feel like this is reminiscent to the crack epidemic that happened, in all honesty, because I think the only difference is that the crack they put into an area where they figured nobody would really care if it got there. The only difference in this case is that they tried to hide it inside the food so that we wouldn't know, to create us to have all these different ailments. You know what? This just came to me, and I don't know if it's because it's real or if it's just something I'm putting together. But they're putting these problems into our food so that we have to go to the doctor, so that we have to have all these different ailments, to have these cancers, and to have, or to go to the doctor to visit them more, so that they can put drugs into us that we don't need to be able to keep us sick, so that they can continue to make money. It's a circle. Come on now. My brain worked. I don't know. For some reason, that's what's really hitting me, is that it may just be a cycle that they want us to be in, because it's all about the bottom line at the end of the day.
Dear world, I have been told by many that the releasing of this truth may pose certain challenges in my life. But there are many institutions that this truth would be viewed as disruptive to their system of profit and gains. I want to live a happy and peaceful life, and I pray for longevity. Not just for me, but for our entire species. Know that I would never harm myself nor anyone else for that matter. Nevertheless, if my life has to face certain challenges so that this planet can be saved, please do not let these trials that I may have to face be in vain, and pray for me as I am praying for you. Sincerely, Terrence Deshaun Howard, May 25th, 2019. Just so that it would always be known, I should never walk out there alone or harm myself. So if something happens to me and someone says that he committed, but he did, no, I would never, ever do that. Know that somebody else did that. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
I feel like so many of these celebrities, they have to make sure they have some type of recording or video or something to show that they're, that they were not crazy. Or if a certain depiction happens, that happens to a lot of people in the entertainment cycle, they're like, hey, no, this didn't happen to me. Do I believe that Terrence Howard could have been targeted? Of course, anyone could be targeted. So yes, definitely. I know that they see a lot of things that we don't see. They have to cross a lot of doors that we don't cross. I'm pretty sure it's really hard to be a star, but that was in 2019. It's 2024. Let's pray that he continues to have success and blessings. Let's get into it. Oh, that was a little awkward. Now, when it comes to Tia and her ex-husband, Corey, this is just for me and how I feel. They were together for 14 years. Why should it be awkward? I'm an outsider, like, looking in. We have no idea, what really happened within their marriage. But it seems like Corey is so chill. And it seems like, Tia was that ball of energy, or that, the one that was on cloud nine all the time. And Corey was like her mellow. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it was really awkward for them, which it shouldn't have been, because they were together for so long. But maybe because they're trying to start their new lives. And it honestly looks like Tia was uncomfortable. The way she was smiling looked like she was uncomfortable. But Corey, he just looked like, I think in that situation, I mean, they're both beautiful people. You know, pretty sure they both have beautiful souls.
Hey ladies, I want you to listen to this video. This is why it's very important to be mindful of what we put on top of our skin, especially while you are pregnant. And fellas, I want you to listen up too, because this is our children. Check this out.
I looked this up to make sure this was accurate because I didn't believe it at first that there's only 11, and it is true. There's only 11 chemicals that are banned from our cosmetics or our body lotions or whatever we're putting on our skin. The thing that really bothers me is that our babies are not being born pure. I found this study to show you. This is by the Environmental Working Group, and what they found was they took 10 babies and tested their cord blood. They found 287 chemicals in their cord blood of these 10 babies. Stain and oil repellents used in fast food packaging, clothing, and textiles, including Teflon, in the baby's cord blood. They found ingredients such as waste from burning coal, gasoline, and garbage, pesticides, consumer product ingredients in the cord blood. They know that 180 cause cancer in humans or animals, 217 are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 208 cause birth defects or abnormal development in animal tests. So this is pretty outstanding. There's the link if you guys want to look it up. The other crazy part is the parent hadn't been exposed to any out-of-range chemicals before. They weren't working in factories or exposed to high levels of toxins. They're just regular people. So our babies are born highly toxic, and it's just awful to me. It breaks my heart. So why is this happening? Because the FDA sold out is basically what it comes down to. 99% of food chemicals introduced since 2000 were green-lighted for use by food and chemical companies rather than properly reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration. So here's the big kicker. These substances end up in what we eat thanks to a legal loophole that allows food to be classified as generally recognized as safe. These companies are basically just making the laws for themselves. How is this possible? Well, you got lobbyists. It's all money. It all goes back to money.
What, a video or two ago I said that too. It's all about the loophole. It's all about the money. You know, what really sucks about all of this is that core blood or that sac, the embryo sac, has all the nutrients that baby needs. And to realize that the nutrients and everything that child needs, I believe they said throughout the lifetime of that person, is already contaminated before they even step foot into this world. I don't understand why money has to be so important to so many people that they're willing to kill people for it, or hinder somebody for it, or have someone be disabled, disfigured. It just doesn't make sense to me. But this is the world we live in. I don't like it. And I hope you don't either.
Breaking news, you guys. The United States infertility rate is at an all-time low. It's even surpassed France. Remember when I told you Europe was having trouble with conceiving children? They haven't had children in a few months. Well, United States surpassed them, y'all. They're even talking about in a few years, deaths are projected to surpass births. Check this out.
Okay? We got a problem. And it's all something almost no one here ever talks about. We're not having children. United States fertility rates have collapsed. This number's wrong. It's our latest number for last year is not 1.64, it's 1.63. France has a higher fertility rate than the United States. Even when you adjust for their immigration population, they still have a dramatically higher fertility. Most of Western Europe looks like us, and we're worse than a whole bunch of the world. How do you and I set public policy so 25 years from now, remember, Social Security is substantially a pay-as-you-go system. Today's workers are functionally paying for today's retirees. The trust fund was the shock absorber. Trust fund is disappearing. But my future generation of workers is going to be smaller. And you're already seeing this in school districts all over America, where the number of students they have are shrinking.
I showed y'all that.
Are we willing to have the really interesting discussion of, okay, are there things we could do economically to make it so family formation, so there's more children? There's things we could do to help, but almost every country it's tried has not been able to change fertility rates. There's, I think in Hungary, I think I saw something that, you know, third child, they buy you a house, fourth child, you get some sort of like prize. And it's barely ticked up their fertility rates. It's a really difficult question happening all over the industrialized world. So if you can't really change it, do you actually build public policy to deal with it? Do you accept the fact that we're going to have a lot more automation? It means capital investment. Are we going to have to find ways to safely adopt artificial intelligence into society so the labor force is maximized in its value and what they earn and productivity? Those are policies we need to work on. You've seen the intellectual capital of the conversations we have on the floor here. How many of them are ready to actually have the reality of, hey, we need to set policy. Is this Republican or Democrat? It's demographics. It's life. And I'm going to bounce to the next two boards because there's a punchline here we need to absorb. This is a little uncomfortable, but this was deaths that are projected to exceed births. And the new math in 15 years, you got to understand what a big deal this is. I came behind this microphone a couple of years ago, and I got some real crap that was sent to my office. And I think at that time I was saying, hey, in 21, 22 years, we're going to have more deaths than births in this country. And then it became 18 years. And then it became 17 years. The new math now is 15 years.
I mean, in all honesty, it doesn't surprise me because here in America, all they want to talk about, at least, okay, this is just me and my opinion. I remember when I was younger, everything was about abortion clinics. I remember them coming into my middle school, talking, not so much talking about abstinence, but talking about condoms and actually having abortions without your parents knowing. I was a part of this Pure Education group for girls. And this was a discussion that we would have in the, in the classroom. And I know it was absolutely absurd to me that instead of trying to figure out a way to prevent the children or the youth from having intercourse, it was more like, hey, if you want to have intercourse, just make sure you put on a condom. Or it was more like, oh, if you have a slip up and you don't want to tell your mommy and daddy, don't worry, just come to us. We'll get rid of it before they even know. And it's crazy because then when I got into high school and they were discussing, that's when the day after pill started. I believe that's around the time is when I was in high school. And to me, it's like, yes, we want to have our youth to be able to create a life for themselves, but we also shouldn't promote the fact that if you decide to have intercourse and you lay down and you get pregnant and it's conceptual, that having an abortion is okay. I do believe that that has a lot to do with the birth rate for what it is, because this is just me. This is just how I think about it. There are so many Planned Parenthoods and there's so many places like that where I come from. It's like every other corner you can find a place where you can have an abortion or where you can get the day after pill, or you can have those things available to you. If the youth were having children, and even my age, I mean, I'm up there a little bit, but if we decided to have children instead of not taking that away, I don't think that the birth rate will be down so much coming up in the future. But a lot of my generation, I am noticing, they don't want no kids. The females, they're not interested in having children. They're more interested in having careers, which is fine. You can have a career, but you can also have a family. You can do both. And I really think a lot of it has to do with not just having these facilities on every corner, but it's more of not promoting family or having that family, not believing that family is needed. Family is needed because that structure of family is what helps to keep the society going, because you have a mom and a dad, you have kids. Those kids have kids. Those kids have kids. Those kids have kids. All your kids ain't gonna have kids. You know what I'm saying? You might have one or two that don't have children, but that's the reason why procreation is so important. Because if one of your children don't, you still have more that will, help into the world, and that will leave a legacy for your family. I know that was a tangent, but baby, I had to get it out there. Come on, let's get into it.
You're talking about the most vicious gangs that you could ever comprehend. I mean, these people literally eat each other. I hate to even say that on TV, but it's important for me to be real. There's criminals out of a prison. They release the entire prison. And just to go to prison in Haiti, sometimes these are the worst of the worst. And so these folks are coming here. Whether you want to admit it or not, they're coming here. That's their goal, because you can't even survive and eat while you're in Haiti.
Oh my gosh. Cannibalism. I remember when I was in grade school and we learned about this island where they ate dead people. And I was disgusted. Why are they eating people? I don't even understand. That is just mind-boggling to me. Maybe we need to go back and start eating berries. Eat some fruit and some and some vegetables. I know we can make it, and some nuts. I believe we can make it. I just can't believe that they eat people. I don't want to make the generalization that said that Haitians out of prison were eating people. So not all Haitians. I know some Haitians. They're pretty cool. But anyway, we made it to the end of another TikTok reaction video. As always, I am so excited. Hey, wait a minute. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thank you so much for being here with me. Until next time, bye.